I'm Moran, Chair of the House Democratic Caucus, pleased to be joined by a number of my fellow delegates to launch the Military Service Personnel and Veterans Bill of Rights. We each share a concern for the young men and women serving our Commonwealth and our country in harm's way. Each service member and their family deserve a commitment from their government that we will provide the necessary resources to ensure their lifetime success. Veterans care should be a federal responsibility, but Washington has failed to get the job done, so we here in Virginia need to step up and assist those serving in harm's way. We have nearly 23,000 Virginians serving in the war zones across the world. So today we are here to announce our Veterans Bill of Rights. In short, our Veterans Bill of Rights will, one, begin to ensure the Commonwealth's commitment to providing the necessary counseling and medical care for our returning veterans, protect them from lost wages and ensure their financial future, protect the families of those serving overseas, and provide additional benefits for those lost overseas. When my father returned from the Pacific Theater in World War II, President Roosevelt launched the GI Bill to demonstrate the commitment we had to our veterans. It's time that we express that commitment again. This session, we, members of the House Democratic Caucus, will introduce legislation that will first provide active duty military and veterans, as well as National Guard and Reserve, to opt into the state employee life insurance pool to provide life insurance benefits for their families. Each veteran should have the same chance a state employee has to opt into low-cost, high-quality life insurance policies to provide for their family. 18% of soldiers serving in Iraq are at risk for post-traumatic stress disorder. But while 80% of those suffering from PTSD acknowledge that they had a problem, only 26% are receiving treatment for their PTSD. We must do more to get the care to our veterans. That is why our second component, very important component, will partner public and private resources to provide additional counseling center services for the nearly 25,000 Virginians returning from service in Iraq and Afghanistan. We are proud to support the Wounded Warrior Center, developed by the Joint Military Leadership Council and patroned by delegates Bob Brink and Kirk Cox. This center will focus on the increasingly portion of those returning from post-traumatic stress disorder and other brain-related injuries. Third, we will allow our Virginia National Guard and reservists to take their military pay tax-free in Virginia while they are serving on extended active duty for periods of 90 days or longer. Fourth, and consistent with Governor Kane's legislative initiative, we will authorize Virginia Armed Service members and their spouses to freeze access to their credit reports. We can and must protect their credit and their reputation. We can't let scam artists take advantage of their family and damage the changes of our military men and women have enjoyed financial success on their own home and live in dignity. And lastly, it's our intention to ensure that those men and women who step forward for service in our National Guard or reservists who are deployed don't find themselves and their families financially suffering as a result. We will ensure that the state provides compensation to state employees in the Guard and Reserves who are called to active duty. The compensation will cover the difference between the Guard salary and the current state salary, so no family loses because of their service. We're joined by a number of distinguished members of the House Democratic Caucus. First and foremost is a gentleman who was a Navy commander, former commander of the Norfolk Naval Station, a freshman delegate from Virginia Beach, Joe Bouchard, who I would welcome to the podium to express his support for this legislation and speak from those who have actually served in our military. Joe?
I'm honored to be a co-patron for this Bill of Rights for military personnel and veterans. It provides important benefits and protection for those who serve their country and those who have served their country in return. I speak from my own experience. I am a 27-year Navy veteran. I have deployed to the Persian Gulf, to the war zone out there multiple times myself when I was on active duty. I was also commanding officer of the Naval Station Norfolk, as Brian mentioned. In that role, I was a service provider for active duty military personnel, for their families, and for veterans, trying to meet their needs, especially the needs of the families while their loved ones were deployed to the war zone. I also ran a reserve mobilization center and saw for myself the challenges that reservists face when they must leave their families and their jobs to go overseas. It can be quite challenging for them, especially financially. And this bill helps protect, in particular, Virginia's National Guard members who are state employees when they deploy overseas to serve their country. I also had a number of reserve units under my command, so I know the challenges that they face when they have to be activated, and they are significant challenges. We can take great pride in our service members. They serve us all with pride, with courage, and in a spirit of sacrifice that they undertake without complaint to serve their fellow Americans. This bill recognizes their service and honors their service by easing the burden that they and their families have to carry while serving their country. I'm confident that this bill will have bipartisan support in the General Assembly because it does provide important support and protection for the patriotic Americans that serve their country in this time of war. Thank you.